just doing video response to the Raw review today by the Blitz team, and I have a thing. I don't know what it is. Like I like Mad Genius. I like Bruce Blitz. I think does an excellent job at organizing the show every week, and I think it's a really good show. But Mad Genius, it's like 99% of what he says is right, and every once in a while he says something that just throws me. I'm like, this is a guy who knows about wrestling, and you're gonna say that? Now this week, the blunder, and as I said, I respect Mad Genius's views a lot. He knows a lot about the wrestling business and the wrestling industry. But as I said, every other week there's some statement he makes out of nowhere, and I'm just like, wow, where did that come from? And I have no idea how you can possibly think that. Now this week, it was apparently he thinks Triple H doesn't like John Cena, and that Triple H is going to somehow phase John Cena out of his current position of protection by the WWE, being, in my opinion, the second most protected WWE superstar of all time, following Triple H. I think Triple H is the most protected WWE superstar of all time. So yes, this was the statement. Because he'd done some kind of shoot promos as such on John Cena, that he doesn't like him, he doesn't respect him, and he wants John Cena out of the picture. Now, to some extent, I do believe that Triple H would prefer that Randy Orton be in that position of face of the company, which just goes to show his business acumen, and because Randy Orton certainly should not be in that position. He deserves to be in the position of John Cena probably as much as John Cena deserves to be in that position. There's really no difference. He doesn't have the personality, the charisma, anything to pull off being the face of a company. They both are undeserving. They'd never make waves. They'd never bring in new viewers. They wouldn't bring in casual viewers. Nobody would be interested in the product if Randy Orton was face of the company. But let's go back to the point, which is this. Triple H apparently doesn't like John Cena. Triple H apparently is somebody who would rather phase out John Cena because he doesn't respect his in-ring ability. And Triple H apparently likes workers. These were the statements. Just a casual look at Triple H's a casual look at Triple H's career would show that to be utter nonsense. How can anyone possibly think that Triple H, of all people, respects workers? The only worker he respects is himself, and he overvalues himself as a worker, as far as I'm concerned. And I think a lot of people agree with me too. We all know this is a fake sport. I have to reiterate that. Triple H's record in a fake sport, one that is predetermined, is unexplainable without the caveat that he has been immensely protected from day one. He has never put over up-and-coming stars that he thinks can knock him off his pedestal. This is his main concern. He will put over people like Batista. He will put over people like Randy Orton. Why? Because they don't threaten him. he knows he's better than them. He knows that his position as top heel of, which is also falsified as far as I'm concerned, in the industry, comparable to Ric Flair, cannot be in any way challenged by talents like Randy Orton and Batista. That's why he puts people like that over. He also has a big thing about big men, the muscle guys, which is why he's constantly trying to bury CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. CM Punk, during his rise up the, in popularity in the amongst the YWC and WWE fans, was pretty much prevented from going to that next level, not by John Cena, but by Triple H. John Cena lost to, and I think he's lost. He lost twice, and then the third time he won in the end. But to all intents and purposes, Cena put over CM Punk more than Triple H did. Okay, now I don't think anyone could possibly tell me that they don't think CM Punk is a good worker in the ring. So where does this notion come from that somehow Triple H is a fan of workers? This goes back all the way to people like Booker T, who's even big. Booker T is the size that you'd expect Triple H, the size and body type that you'd expect Triple H to be fawning over. And what did Triple H do? Buried the guy deep underneath the ground. Okay, this goes back to his days in even with rising stars like The Rock, not putting him over clean, even though he was the heel in that feud between Triple H and The Rock in the 2000s. He never put over The Rock clean. Anytime he lost, it was due to some weird stipulation. That's how he lost the WWE Championship to The Rock. Brock Lesnar, another guy. I mean, the list goes on and on and on of good workers that Triple H has buried. The good workers in the ring that Triple H is willing to put over are people who do not challenge his status. And that is why he loves John Cena. That is why he relished his feud with John Cena. He relished all the attention that he, supposedly a representative of the Attitude Era, was supposedly, like he was getting cheered over John Cena. They were saying John Cena sucks. And just to give you some extra information on that, he'd been blaming the heels who had gone into feuds such as Edge with John Cena prior to him for not getting John Cena over, by not getting enough heat. He blamed them, ostracized them, for basically not being able to get enough heat on themselves. Then he comes in, plays the heel against John Cena, and relishes the fact that the fans are chanting his name and are cheering boo to Cena. The reason he likes Cena so much, the reason he was willing to put Cena over clean and have him be the face of the company, is because his ego demands it. Somewhere deep inside, Triple H is more willing to sabotage the WWE and the wrestling industry than to ever get past this thought that he is the best in the business. That is the truth of it. That is absolute truth of it. If you look at his career and how it's gone, that is the only way to explain how he behaves in terms of who he puts over and who he doesn't put over. And he hasn't put over many people. He's buried a hell of a lot more. Every time The Rock or Kurt Angle or Stone Cold put over somebody, put them over clean, put them over nicely, give them a nice spot, in comes Triple H, swoops in. Chris Jericho Boom. Telling me Chris Jericho isn't a good worker? He isn't big enough to be champion? Triple H swoops in, takes the championship off him, right at the time where he was rising to getting a good heat as a heel. It is absolute nonsense. And I just want to reiterate again for viewers of my channel, Triple H is the most protected. Fuck John Cena. I hate John Cena. Well, I don't hate him, but I dislike John Cena as well. But Triple H is the most protected. Go back and look at this guy's body of work, whether it be from the Click time when he was in the Click, but especially after marrying Stephanie McMahon. He's the most protected guy in the industry, bar none. Much more protected. He can choose. And the fact that Mad Genius was saying that it's Vince that makes the decisions ultimately on these things, and Vince is the one that likes John Cena, is absolute nonsense. We do not know how Vince really feels about John Cena. For all you know, Vince may be thinking, oh, people hate him so much that they're actually turning into view because they hate him as this babyface. So why not keep him there as long as he's generating interest in people wanting to see him finally get beaten clean and defeated by somebody. And that's probably the angle Vince is playing with him. Whereas Triple H, and this is something that you can go and watch. Natalia was in that Divas show or whatever, when she refers to getting more opportunity in the ring, she says she needs to convince Vince and Hunter. In fact, she said Hunter and Vince. I think everything is going through to Hunter. He makes some decisions of what to present to Vince. That is what's going on at the moment. Everything's going through him, and he has a lot to do with how the current state of the WWE. So that's my piece. If Mad Genius sees this, there's no offense against him. I just think it's absolutely crazy to say that about Paul Levesque. He is absolutely, I can tell 100% behind John Cena, which is why he lost to him clean. He doesn't lose to many people clean. Tapping out. You show me another place where Triple H has tapped out to lose a match, and I'll be astounded. He liked the attention. He liked to shoot his mouth off about John Cena not being a good wrestler, because it feeds his ego for crowds to be chanting his name and see him as one of the greatest of the Attitude Era. That is it. He put over Cena cleaner than fucking The Rock put over Cena. Apart from like the little thing at the end where he raised his hand, Triple H put John Cena over cleaner than The Rock put over John Cena. Fact. And yeah, that's all I've got to say to that. Because The Rock didn't tap out, did he? Alright. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed the